Hello and welcome to Liberty Nation TV with your host, Jeff Charles. Keep Austin weird. That's the slogan of the city I live in. Unfortunately, Austin might have to change its slogan to Keep Austin Safe as our crime rates continue to skyrocket. Recently, the Austin Police Department asked residents to dial 311 instead of 911 if they are experiencing a non-life-threatening emergency. This is one of several measures that they have had to introduce because of the Defund the Police movement, which took root last year. Now, with me to discuss this, I have Lisa Donner, the head honcho of LibertyNation.com. How are you, Lisa?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you?
I'd be doing better if I didn't know about all the stuff going on with the police and with the crime rates. So you actually wrote about this, and I've been paying attention to this for a while because I live here. Can you just first give us the rundown on the article that you wrote?
So it's interesting. My husband is our senior political analyst, Tim Donner, and he often talks about the Democrats and how they have one-step thinking. And this is a classic example of Democrats' one-step thinking. Basically, last year, they underfunded or took away $150 million from the police budget. So surprise, surprise, crime is up. Shocking, I know. I mean, what's that about? What were they thinking when they cut $150 million from the police department budget?
Yeah, I don't think that they were thinking at all. And I will tell you, as a resident, a lot of people are very upset about this. Not just people on the right. I mean, because we do have a lot of conservatives here in Austin, even though it's a very blue city. They are not happy about this. So to me, it's kind of, it's not just happening in Austin. I mean, have you noticed this happening in other cities with crime rates going up and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe you have a TV station down there, KUT TV.
Yeah, KUT and KView, yes.
Okay, so what they did a study and they compared it to 2017. I'm not sure why they picked 2017, but it showed that there's like a 200% increase in the homicide rate. There's another let me see if I can find it here. 77 increase in car theft. Hold on to your car. Mm-hmm. And aggravated assaults are up 36%. In fact, the only thing that was down were, I believe, robberies.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. And I'll even add to that. This year, okay, so the record of homicides in Austin, the record number of homicides was 59 homicides in Austin. That was in 1984. We've already hit 60 at this point in this year, and it's not even over yet.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned 1984. You remember back in the Rudy Giuliani days in New York? Mm-hmm. Okay, before Rudy, New York was a holy mess. Yeah. I mean, it was really dangerous. And people, the subways were dirty and there was smell of urine and graffiti everywhere. It was just gross. And along comes Rudy and he comes up with just a brilliant idea. Basically, little crimes lead to big crimes. So right. if you're not paying attention to the little stuff, soon you're dealing with the big stuff. And like you said, homicides, that's the big stuff. And what are they going to do? Austin apparently has no police academy now.
Yeah, and what's sad about that? That didn't just start last year. This has been an issue for a few years now, that they've halted police academies or put them on hold or what have you. They've been trying to, and I don't think that they're doing this overtly. They're trying to sneak it by, but I think they've been trying to diminish the number of police officers on the street because they're in pursuit of this ridiculous notion of defunding the police. And there is a silver lining, though. There are people fighting back. There is a political action community called Save Austin Now, and they were instrumental in getting the homeless camping ban reinstated. And they've got a prop on the ballot in November, Prop A, which would refund the police. So I'm hoping that not only does this succeed, but maybe that it provides a template for people in other cities who don't agree with the defunding of the police.
Well, guess who you're up against? And let me consult, I believe it's Joe Schaefer's story. George Soros adds to Austin police shortage woes. So what does he do? He plunks down $500,000, a cool $500,000, to work to defeat Proposition A. And if you think about it, what Soros has been doing around the nation, and he has some serious successes, one in Philadelphia with DA Larry Krasner. But what he's trying to do is really influence the criminal justice system around the nation with his money. So he's throwing a ton of money against Proposition A. Meantime, the national safe city standards are, put out by the federal government, whatever, 2 officers per 1,000 people. And that's all that Proposition A is asking for. They're not asking for, a militarized zone.
Well, and what I like about it too is that, because I've spoken with Mike Makoviak before, because he's one of the leaders of the group, and he talked about how this proposition would actually have provisions in it that would help to decrease negative interactions between the police and the public. So they even though Austin doesn't really have much of a problem with police brutality like other cities do, these people still want to even make sure that it doesn't become a problem as they get more police onto the streets and refund the police department. So people like Soros do not care about the people. They care about their agenda. They don't care that this is making people unsafe. They're willing to do it if it means that they can push their agenda forward.
Right. And what happens when crime goes up? People move out of the city, right? But, with Austin, it's kind of insulated because it's the state capital, right?
Yes.
So government isn't going to go under. That's one business that is, going to keep hiring people. We can bank on that, right?
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So, it's really Austin is insulated from people moving out. I don't know what the rate is. Maybe a small number have moved out, but they're banking on the fact that you guys, they're a liberal city. And it's interesting, Jeff, I want your comment on this. I noticed we had dozens of comments on Facebook, and people were like, serves them right, they voted these people in.
Yeah, see, I understand where that's coming from, but I think people need to realize is that there are a lot of people in Austin who don't agree with what these people are doing. But the progressives here in Austin, they have a machine, and they have ways of getting people elected, making sure that their right people get into office. And I will say that there's progress being made. Last year during the election, Mackenzie Kelly was elected to the city council. She is the only Republican on the city council. She shouldn't have won, but she did, because people are tired of what the city council is doing. The government here is insane. I love the city of Austin. I love being here. I love the people. And I'm used to being around a lot of liberals because I'm from Southern California. But this city council is insane. And I do think that they will be seeing more losses as long as the Travis County GOP keeps doing a lot of what it's doing, which has been very positive. I think that we will see a turnaround. They will either change their ways or there will be more Republicans on the city council. But I do see positive signs coming up.
Well, as the saying goes, elections have consequences.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we will definitely be keeping an eye on this. I will be keeping an eye on this because I live here and I don't want to deal with this stuff anymore. But thank you for joining me, Lisa. I appreciate it.
Happy to be here, Jeff.
And remember, this show is proudly sponsored by LibertyNation.com, where you can access podcasts, breaking news and analysis, and a range of biting and brilliant shows to whet your appetite for freedom and your fondness for the great American Constitution. Just go to LibertyNation.com on your browser or hit Rumble, YouTube, or check out our Liberty Nation News Roku channel. I'm Jeff Charles. Thanks for watching. This program is a production of LibertyNation.com, conservative news where truth matters.
Who are we? We are Americans that believe in liberty. We are a project of the nonprofit One Generation Away. We are patriots who apply the founding principles to the issues of today.
And they keep moving the goalposts on us.
We are educators and commentators who love America and the Constitution. Who are we? We are Liberty Nation.